That's not going to be it, folks. They think they've got it. Let's hit them with the GG. And Clerics goes down. Inquisitor Captain, adios. Hello and welcome to the Florida Men Gaming. My name is Furion and today we'll be playing Magic the Gathering Arena. But before we get started, I would like to ask that you like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers and would love your support on the journey. For today's deck, we're going to be net decking a deck put forward initially by JayVillainMTG called Out of the Darkness. This is a green-black wolf and werewolf combo deck that is monstrous in what it's able to do on the ladder. So for this deck, we are playing a number of different spells here. For non-creature spells, we're going to be running 4 copies of the Blizzard Brawl, one of the best removal spells in green. 2 copies of Wild Shape so that we have the option to either give ourselves hexproof, give ourselves a little bit of reach against those pesky flying opponents, or give ourselves some trample depending on what the situation requires. 2 copies of Infernal Grasp and Poison the Cup each. Great removal targeted to help us clear the way as we move our way through with the March of Madness coming down the pike. For creature spells, we're running 4 copies of the Tenacious Pup, one of the best 1-drops in the game if you ask me. 4 copies of the Packsong Pup, a great pairing with Tenacious. 4 copies of the Werewolf Pack Leader. All 3 of these cards in tandem are terrifying together. 2 copies of Ranger Class to help us put some counters out there and really make things happen. 4 copies of the Graveyard Trespasser, the black werewolf that devours graveyards and helps you keep the momentum in your favor. Really good against control decks, really helps you push spells out of graveyards that could be cast back against you. 3 copies of the Cemetery Prowler to help us with our mana and curve ourselves out by eliminating cost by taking out cards from graveyards. 3 copies of Sarulf, the Realm Eater. This is a card that I wouldn't have thought to play, but I have, with great effect, and unfortunately did not catch the recording for this video, removed its counters and wiped a board clean, demoralizing the opponent to the point of leaving and setting us up for victory. 2 copies of the Howlpack Piper, our little cheater friend, and 2 copies of the Avabruck Caretaker, the big bomb at the end. For lands, we're running a total of 22 lands, 8 snow-covered swamps, 10 snow-covered forests, and 4 Darkboar pathways. I do have the complete chill land set, but I'll be honest, the Darkboar pathway has proven just as effective, and I'm not running the full 8 optional lands, as with snow we want to make sure we have enough for the Blizzard Brawl at any given time, so I did not want to risk not having Snowland by playing too much out of the Snow archetype. If you wanted to have the option of both, I would swap the Darkboar pathway for the land that came out, I believe, with Crimson Vow. We'll go ahead and pull it up real quick. I'm spacing on the name. That would be... I did say rare, right? Nope, and basic. Let's take basic off. The Deathcap Glade. So that is an optional swap in. It gives you both mana up front rather than trying, but with the Darkboar pathway you can always play it on 1, which is its big upside. So with that, folks, we are excited. Let's go ahead and see where this deck takes us in the gameplay. We have our opponent. This is a great starting hand. Gonna go ahead and lead off with our favorite little puppers, the Tenacious Pup. Followed up with our second favorite puppers, the Packsong Pup. This is gonna be excellent. Leading with red could be any number of things, not limited to, of course, Mill. Really hoping it's not Mill. Let's see if they just out and out smack this Packsong Pup before it goes to its counter phase. We do have a hold. There's the Frostbite, they're not waiting. There's 2 health. Now we have to hope for green. No pump on the adversary. They're going to come in and take some of that health back off us. Alright. Double black. That is not what we want here. Let's go ahead and start limiting their graveyard, though. Good to know that what they're after here is potential burn recursion. There's another adversary. Go ahead and swing, you'll lose one of them. It is really unfortunate that I played that out on black, but not having mana coming in, we don't know where it's going. Let's see what they elect to do here. They quit! Wow! I can't even begin to imagine what it was that I put down that intimidated them off the field, but you know what? We'll take wins however we can get them. We have our next opponent, and this is a keepable hand. Darkboar Pathway going to come in for us on green so we can get that pack leader down. We'll lead with the snow-covered forest, though. If we can draw another forest here, it will dictate a different chain or a different direction for that pathway. Don't want to miss the opportunity to get that Cemetery Prowler like we did last match. There's the black mana, so that guarantees us the green, and down comes the pack leader. Mirrored up, they may not press this advantage. And honestly, we want them to attack in, and if we can get the trade, we will start isolating and exiling with the Cemetery Prowler, reducing cost across the board here for us. That will be a major key for us to have a chance at winning. I think the opponent's kind of stumped by the green-black look. There's the token. Now, do they swing? They do. We'll take that trade. Although they could have a Snakeskin Veil, based on the priority hold, they're either delaying, we'll take the risk. No Veil. That is excellent news for us, as now we can start exiling creatures from the graveyard and boosting our ramp ability here. If we can get that Avabruck Caretaker down quickly, this game will take on a whole new direction, and that Howlpack Piper will be able to come down a turn earlier without the mana draw, as long as the Prowler stays alive. Opponent still thinking. Okay. Incoming Prowler. Not sure what this stick is from. Could be a Snakeskin Veil. Could be another instant, but at this point it's hard to say. They could be running the transformational one that gives hexproof, trample, or other abilities. Could even be burn. Alright, let's go ahead and eat up their pack leader. Having that mana does mean we can get down the Howlpack Piper on the next turn. We're going to keep the Cemetery Prowler in reserve. Rahilda the Wanted Cutthroat. That is an excellent choice. I love that card. Definitely in my favorites. Now, do they swing in? They don't. We're going to go ahead and play out Sarulf the Realm Eater. And we'll foretell. Should have attacked in. I could have taken out Rahilda. But as it stands, we should be okay to survive a hit unless they've got a sneaky snakeskin. There's the Town Razor. We're going to go ahead and take that damage here in just a moment. The attack's not going to be enough, and we can always poison the cup with the Town Razor. Alright, this next turn is the painful turn. We'll see what happens. One black mana, and this goes a whole new direction. And actually, we can leave a wolf on the board. There's another green. There's a lot of stick here. I'm not sure what the opponent's holding on to. There's the kill. We're going to go ahead and bury the Ranger class. And it's time to cheat out the Avabruck. Sarulf going to get his counter. And down comes the big body. Because we cast a spell, we are in excellent shape here. That cast spell keeps it from flipping to the day-night cycle, except they have day-night flip on their side, but this is good for us, as everything will get hexproof and will become gigantic. Propping up the Prowler means we'll have a body big enough to handle the Rahilda even with the double strike. And we could even elect to sacrifice the Piper to it if we so choose, so we don't risk taking any losses to our card base. Let's go ahead and force the issue here. Do I have an instant? I do have an instant. Still don't have the black mana to cast it. I probably should have read what I was doing there. Alright, we have some damage on the board. And the Sarulf gets bigger. Next turn we'll be able to exile the Rahilda. We don't have any more non-basics on the field, so that Town Razor is gonna whiff. And we can afford to lose it, which is excellent news for us. Do they put the ticker on the Rahilda? They don't. They don't have any more pump. They are gone. Oh boy. I love my Gruul Werewolves, but this black-green wolf-werewolf combination deck is proving to be spicy. Alright, the next opponent has stepped up to the plate. This is a keepable hand. Do wish I had the second green source, but we'll take it from the start. Opponent leading with a green mana and a Tenacious Pup. We're going to have a mirrored start minus the Snowland from the jump. Excited to have the Graveyard Trespasser be our big girl when she comes down on turn number 3. Ranger class will slow them down a little bit. Interesting that they've got a Lotus Cobra coming in with its pump. That'll be a tasty exile treat. And if they decide to attack in, which would be a mistake, I will just take it for what it's worth. Opponent now up to 4 mana though, they are ramping. The question is, what do they have for 4 mana? Devouring Tendrils, taking away the attack threat. That is a massive ramp strategy. Once again, the green mana shortage is real. Take away their spell, and we will hold. Opponent will have to discard a card in order to directly attack the Graveyard Trespasser. Do they want to do that, though? Opponent now up to 5 mana. What could they have coming down? Primal Adversary. That is a scary card, and they're electing to turn a land into a 3/3 wolf. That's an interesting call. Go ahead. Feel free to swing in with it, but you don't have anything that can take me. And you can't discard, so you've effectively wasted the spell. Congratulations! The board state stays stale. And with that green mana, I now have the Blizzard Brawl online. We'll go ahead and take out the biggest threat. And we will swing in, exiling from the graveyard and rebalancing health. With this trample, we're going to be able to swing through some of what they've got to deal with us. And the life totals have equalized. With the Howlpack Piper still in hand, I can draw down the Cemetery Prowler, and we're still in good shape and advantageous position here as opposed to our opponent, who is now struggling on the back foot. That is not the turn we hoped for. We'll take it, but with that night side flip, we now can't draw the Howlpack Piper down to bring in the Cemetery Prowler. We are going to go ahead and hold, as our threats currently are bigger than anything they have on the board. The opponent is flooding out. I'm not going to be able to hold for too much longer here. Going to have to start taking some chances. Okay, I lied. The opponent has seen what we have on the board and decided that they no longer want to play. This, again, mono green is now a victim. Gruul Werewolves is a victim. The only thing I've lost to so far is a Turbo Mill strategy. So with that, we will see you in the next one. Alright, the next opponent has stepped up to the plate, and this is the dream start. The dual green start allows us to play out most everything that we have. We are on the play, which means Tenacious Pup on 1, Pack Leader on 2, the black mana on deck ready to start powering up our attack spells. And with that Poison the Cup, that will allow us to dig through any potential pitfalls we're going to run into as our mana base potentially struggles or we have a hard time finding our creatures. So that is a very exciting opening hand. Angel of Unity for the opponent, so they are a Cleric's deck. We're going to have to start doing some big damage to keep them below the 27. Werewolf Pack Leader being hyper pumped though like it is a big boon to us. We'll go ahead and foretell. Let's see if we can get him to bite on the Tenacious Pup. We'll turn it into a 3/3 with Trample. There we go. That is good news. It will forestall their ability to get any future creatures down to the board. And by that I mean pump any future creatures that could be potential problems for us. There's the big Valkyrie. Hello, cutie pie. Goodbye. The Blizzard Brawl is a keep. We're going to go ahead and leave that top two as is, as we can play them both for great effect. Inquisitor Captain, going to level off their playing field here a little bit, but the Blizzard Brawl coming down next turn means that we're going to just wipe out the biggest threat that they put down. And they only get a Professor of Symbology. And when I say only, they could have other ideas for what they're trying to do here, but that is advantageous. We're going to go ahead and wipe out the Captain. Wipe out the Professor. And swing through unopposed. And we'll draw into the Sarulf. Forgot that I had that one coming next. Also forgot that with the +1 pump from the Blizzard Brawl that we would be steaming right ahead. Now, does the opponent play some blockers? There's the Spellbinder. It's a sad state of affairs when you have to make the decision between what's sitting in my hand. This might just be the scoop play. There goes the Sarulf, but is that the call? And a Voice of the Blessed. That's a good play. But alas, this Graveyard Trespasser is going to keep it moving in my direction. Let's get rid of that Righteous Valkyrie. Cleric class no longer a viable option to rebuild. And we will sacrifice this Werewolf Pack Leader if they elect to double block. They're going to have to save off some of the damage. Oh, they go to 1. Unless they have a way to make some health here, this Graveyard Trespasser on this next turn is going to secure the game. That's not going to be it, folks. They think they've got it. Let's hit them with the GG. And Clerics goes down. Inquisitor Captain, adios. All credit to where it's due, ladies and gentlemen. He said it was a 9-in-1 deck, and so far he has not been lying. JayVillainMTG, you're getting mad props for this build because this straight net deck has proven to be a joy to play. Alright, the next opponent has entered the stage. 2 green mana to start. This is a questionable keep, but we're on a little bit of a heater here, so I'm going to trust that we'll draw into a 3rd mana that hopefully is black and will allow us to play out our next series of threats. Tenacious Pup on 1. Opponent with Werewolf sleeves. We could be facing off against another Werewolf deck. There's their Tenacious Pup to mirror. That is a beautiful pickup. Werewolf pack leader keeping us moving forward while we wait for the land to arrive. Now again, they could be mirroring this step for step, so if we draw a black mana, we will be in good shape, able to eliminate whatever gets pumped coming down. If they bypass the Ranger class, that's not going to be enough. There's a 3rd green mana. That means we get indestructible. I'm going to go ahead and take out the biggest blocking threat. Foretell the poison in the cup. And right now, as far as the opponent's concerned, they're just facing off against mono green, and I made the mistake of not attacking in with both. That just lost me a free card. There's the red we've been waiting for. Werewolf pack leader still at 4. And there's their boosted threat, a 4/4 Tovolar. That black mana needs to come, and it needs to come now. We will go ahead and offer them the trade. Opponent just takes it. And Ravenous Pursuit. That's an interesting removal. That's an alchemy card. Not one you typically see. Well played, opponent. Well, let's go ahead and chump. We don't want them to get too far ahead with card draw here. 1 black mana and this whole game turns around. There's the black mana. Ask and you shall receive. Bye-bye, Tovolar. It was nice knowing you, and that is glorious. We're going to go ahead and bottom 1 black, take the other, and that will allow us to play on the next turn Sarulf, and then take advantage of him on the battlefield with the Infernal Grasp. There's Arlen the Pack's Hope. Kinda wish I had saved... Oh no, that doesn't target it, so it actually turns out okay for us. That's a big series of hits though for the opponent. Now the question becomes, what does the opponent have for us next? Do I have enough health to survive the next engagement? The opponent plays the hasty route. There's the Kessig Naturalist. He's a big boy. Interesting that they didn't let it go tonight. We'll go ahead and gain back some of that health. And we will take out the Kessig Naturalist and swing into the Arlen unopposed. And we'll be able to take her off the board, which is beautiful. She was our biggest threat up until now, and with it staying on the day side, we'll be able to fend off any potential Reckless Stormseekers with a standard chump block with the Tenacious Pup. There's the next Arlen. That is fortuitous for them. Let's go ahead and wipe the board. That is helpful, as the nighttime flip does not bode well for us. If they play down another Arlen, this game is over. As a matter of fact, if they play down a Stormseeker, this game is over. And there it is. We gotta hit him with the GG. Certain things you just can't avoid, and an opponent drawing into 3 straight Arlens. Whew. Sometimes you just can't win them. Alright, we have our next opponent. This is the riskiest keep we will have all day. But again, the Tenacious Pup could pump up that Graveyard Trespasser, and as long as we don't stall out too hard trying to get that second green mana, having the forests the way we do is advantageous and will give us an opportunity to really move ahead like we hope to. Being able to play Ranger class on 2 is still good for us, and we won't be too far behind not being able to pump up that pack leader. Opponent showing Gruul, here comes the Wolves. There's the second green we need, so the pack leader comes down on time, and that's really what we want, being able to trample through what they have ahead of us. That Blizzard Brawl will effectively take out any Tovolars that come down. There's Tovolar, on time. Good to see you, buddy. I hope you enjoyed your trip. Let's go ahead and put down the Ranger class. And we'll swing in to get the free card. And another pack leader. We're going to spiral out very big here, and I don't think the opponent realizes it. They see it now. That was almost a really bad move for them, but with the Wolf token in place, we are still effective in our chump blocking ability here against the Naturalist, and let's see if they have anything that can push through. No, they don't. This deck, when it draws lucky, and man, was that a hot start. I will take it every day. Alright, welcome back, and as you saw, this deck is a monster. All credit again for the brew goes to JayVillainMTG. He's got a Twitch channel and a YouTube. His YouTube just tipped over 5,000 subscribers. This is monstrous. Again, sample size is a little low at the moment for what I want to do this season, 7-2. This will definitely be one of my go-tos though, as I'm climbing from gold and platinum into and towards diamond. And again, like we saw in the recap video, the whole goal here is now volume of games played, not just what you see on camera when we do the videos here, but a chance to really drive it home and give ourselves the best opportunity to win. This deck is a blast. If you have the cards, if you've drawn some of these lucky ones, definitely put this piece together. Show you the stats here, just give you the breakdown. 100% win rate against mono green, 2-1 against Gruul, 100% against the mono white life game, but that was a 1-0 sample. Lost to a mill deck, and 1-0 against a mono red that looks like they just bricked into oblivion. This deck is a good time. It is worth the investment and worth playing, and it does seem to have a pretty good answer for a lot of what the meta is doing right now. So, with that, this is Furion from the Florida Men Gaming, signing off.